Good evening, Room 207 students. How are you doing today? It's good to be here with you, and I am going to read you the next chapter in Crenshaw. And I have Rossi here. I just pulled him out of his cat bed, and I'm in a different location in my house today because my partner went back to work today, and this is my couch in my living room, and this is where I usually do all my reading, and my couch and my stack of books are over there beyond the computer. So I'm very comfortable, and I recommend that you find a comfortable spot in your house to read as well. So we are on chapter 50, and today we're going to try synthesizing again. And when you do synthesizing, you are bringing everything together, all your strategies, your inferencing, your connections and your predictions and your inferences, and you are making new knowledge from all of those, and you're making sense of what you're reading, and it's kind of bringing everything together. Okay, it's starting to make sense, right? Chapter 50. In the last chapter we read where Jackson wanted to run away, and then the next chapter Robin came over from her room and wanted him to read her favorite book, and he, instead of running away, he did that. So chapter 50, here we go. When I awoke, Robin, Aretha, and Crenshaw were spread out on my mattress. Robin and Aretha were both drooling a little. Sitting on the floor across from us were my mom and dad. They had on their bathrobes. My dad had my crumpled note flattened out in his lap. "Good morning," my mom whispered. I didn't answer her. I didn't even look at her. "Fact," my dad said softly. "Parents make mistakes." "A lot," my mom added. "Fact," my dad said. "Parents try not to burden their kids with grown-up problems. But sometimes that's hard to do." Robin stirred, but she didn't wake. "Well, it's hard being a kid, too," I said. I was glad I sounded so angry. "It's hard not to know what's happening." "I know," said my dad. "I don't want to go back to that time," I said, my voice getting louder with each word. "I hated you for putting us through it. It wasn't fair. Other kids don't have to sleep in their car. Other kids aren't angry." I knew that this wasn't true. I knew that lots of other kids had it worse than I did, but I didn't care. "Why can't you just be like other parents?" I demanded. I was crying hard. I gasped for breath. "Why does it have to be this way?" Okay. My mom came over and tried to hug me. I wouldn't let her. "We're so sorry, sweetheart," she whispered. My dad sniffed. He cleared his throat. I looked over at Crenshaw. He was awake, watching me carefully. So now Crenshaw is, remember, only in his imagination, and Crenshaw is there, and he's giving him some power to speak up to his parents and tell them how he feels. I took a deep breath, shuddery breath. "I know you're sorry, but that doesn't change the way things are." "You're right," said my dad. No one talked for a few minutes. The only sound was Crenshaw purring gently, and only I could hear him. Slowly, very slowly, I began to feel my anger changing into something softer. So here we start thinking about, so why did Crenshaw come back at this point in time in his life in 4th grade? You know, and up until now he was always like, do other people see him? I don't know. But now he's pretty sure he's the only one who sees him. "It's okay," I finally said. "It's really okay. I just want you to tell me the truth from now on, that's all." "That's fair," my dad said. "More than fair," my mom agreed. "I'm getting older," I said. "I can handle it." "Well, then here is another fact," said my dad. "Last night I called the guy who wanted to buy our guitars. He told me his brother owns that music store down by the mall. He needs an assistant manager. His brother also has a garage apartment behind the store that won't be occupied for a month. It would give us a roof over our heads for a little while. Anyway, maybe some more work." "That's good, right?" I asked. "It's good," my dad said, "but it's not a certainty. Here's the thing, Jackson. Life is messy. It's complicated. It would be nice if life were always like this. And he drew an imaginary line that kept going up, 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 up. But life is actually a lot more like this. He made a jiggly line that went up and down like a mountain range. You just have to keep trying. What's that expression? Asked my mom. Fall down 7 times, get up 8? More fortune cookie wisdom, my dad said. But it's true. My mom patted my back. Starting today, we'll be honest with you. We'll be as honest with you as we can. Is that what you want? I looked over at Crenshaw. He nodded. Yes, I said, that's what I want. All right then, said my dad. It's a deal. Fact, said my mom. I'd really like some breakfast. Let's go see what we can do about that. And that's the end of chapter 50. And tomorrow I'll read you chapter 51. And you have a good rest of your night. And you too can do synthesizing when you're reading. And when you synthesize, you bring all your information together, everything you've read, taking your inferences into consideration and thinking about your connections and your predictions and your questions. You're kind of making sense of everything in the story as it comes to a closure. All right? We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.